This proposal, on being articulated, resonated deeply with me. I saw myself there, rudimentary, garbed in tattered skins, near naked, standing, awed, peering into an indigo night, experiencing all that latent terror. Oh yes, the thesis has merit. This intellectual foray, as far as I know, is utterly unique in its conception. I don't know whether it's brilliant or a glimpse into deconstructed historical insanity. See what you think. Chapter 12, The Black Savannah. Tyrone had not heard the Quantum Brother discourse on the second-class status of black women, specifically with reference to advertisements. Tyrone had never before posted a comment on the brother's YouTube channel, but this time he did. In the comments section, he briefly detailed the event at the airport, lamenting the pervasiveness of the practice of ostracizing black women, and asked the brother to comment on this. The brother replied, noting he had addressed this topic before, but he would dedicate an upcoming podcast to it, and expressed gratitude to Tyrone for his listenership. Tyrone informed Rexa to watch the podcast and ensure that her sister Lakeisha would also commit to viewing it. 2 days later, it came up. The brother was florid in his delivery. He didn't hold back. He started off senatorial. At the end, it was anger. Tyrone had watched him enough to detect the cauldron of anger this topic generated. He began by reading Tyrone's comments. This, in and of itself, had Tyrone jumping up and down, feeling a bit like when he had burned up the police vehicle, as if he was being instrumental in activating an event. The brother began, whiteness and its allure. He started with Japan, having been stationed there when he was in the service. He detailed how some of the whitest women he had ever seen were in Japan, declaring some of them were almost translucent. He explained how the women avoided the sun like it was a nuclear reactor, wearing long gloves even when in cars, and using umbrellas to avoid any hint of darkening, stating this behavior included all the Asian countries. He explained this was also the case in Latin countries, where the women, especially the older generation, did everything to avoid any type of increased pigmentation. Explaining this phenomenon was even evident in African countries. His conclusion, this was a global phenomenon, the race for alabaster. Declaring this innate drive by women in particular to be seen as white as possible was something that was inherent in our DNA. Concerning advertisements with successful black males always having a white woman, he stated, at first, it was all blondes. Now, only recently, this has come to include light-skinned Asians or Hispanics. This, always, over women of their own race. He had mentioned this phenomenon years ago, stating, with resignation finally, there was some small movement towards, at least, bringing out the Meghan Markle black woman. The brother opined his earlier commentary on this dearth of black women in advertisements had not mentioned what he was going to say now, stating he had further contemplated on this and was now ready to discourse. He leaned back. As mentioned, this race from darkness is evident in women from every culture, even black ones. It is, I would contend, an aspect of our DNA. He showed 2 photos. One, a dark night with profiles of sharp mountain peaks rising in the background. In the foreground, an ominous silhouette of a dead tree line. He held up another picture, this one the same landscape, only in bright white light. He thumped the table. Imagine the proto-human, the Neanderthal, the Peking man, the Cro-Magnon, even an Australopithecus, the oldest remnants of early man from over 1 million years ago. Imagine you're one of them. What does that harrowing night represent to you? It forebodes terror, the unknown, its death, injury, cold, and predation. Remember, for untold time, we humans were collectively food. He paused, laughing. Now remember, this is my own ideas. I don't know of any university chair giving out doctorates for dissertations on this. This analysis is me utilizing my common sense. He again held up the other photo. Bright. Everything is revealed. The landscape made easily manifest. This light came to represent warmth, safety, hope, deliverance, and yes, beauty. This, I feel, was that first association of light with goodness and desirability. But there is another dynamic that pushes this. He paused and laughed. I can already imagine some of the vitriol in the comments with this intellectual excursion, especially from the feminist horde. But here it goes. Truth is often painful. Man represents will, and woman is that which he wills toward. She is manifest beauty. She represents that which he cannot fathom or replace. She is security and, yes, life itself. She becomes the object, and he becomes that which worships the object. But in a sense, he also becomes an object to the woman. He is an adoring supplicant, transposed into a meal ticket. This is reality. Let's arc forward. The end result, in every culture, in every part of the world, genetics is unabatedly at work, and what happens is that the most sought after are those that are the perceived to be at the top of the gene pool. He leaned back. The female learned to emulate that which is seen as desirous and sought after, that being light. After successive generations, either in Asian, white or Hispanic, or even black communities, the females, the light-skinned, attracted more holders of wealth and status. They, in turn, reproducing lighter-skinned progeny, both male and female. Hence, you have the dichotomy we have now, that being the increase in pigmentation being associated with poverty and less desirability. The brother stated he would further pursue this topic, in spite of whatever vitriol he received, declaring he never abated in his search for meaning and truth. Tyrone was left perplexed by the analysis. The brother stated in the next podcast he would dissect the advertising industry and their complicity and even corruption in this. Tyrone awaited the next upload.